Communications and Minister of State for Railways, Shri Ravi Shankar Prasad Ji, Honorable Minister of Electronics and IT and Law and Justice, Shri Dharmendra Pradhan Ji, Honorable Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas and Minister of Skill Development, Shri Satish Mahana Ji, Honorable Minister of Industrial Development, Government of UP, Shri Mukesh Ambani, Chairman, Reliance Industries Limited, Shri Sunil Bharti Mittal, Chairman, Bharti Enterprises, Additional Secretary, IT, Your Excellencies, CEOs from the Telecom and IT fraternity, country delegations, senior government officers, startups, guests, friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, good morning and a very warm welcome to all of you to this 3-day international conference and exhibition, the India Mobile Congress 2017, organized by the Department of Telecommunications, along with the Cellular Operators Association of India and other stakeholders. It is my absolute pleasure to be present here this morning amongst this august gathering and to welcome all of you to this historic event. The India Mobile Congress promises to finally be that one platform that will signal to the rest of the world that India is not only key to the global telecommunications ecosystem, but that in many ways it is also leading the way. The Honorable Prime Minister's vision of a fully connected and a digitally empowered India is well on its way to realization under the dynamic leadership of our honorable ministers present here today. And we have much to share with the world through the unique platform that it has already created. Indeed, as many of you would have read in the newspapers today, as acknowledged by Satya Nadella, with Aadhaar, Jan Dhan, and the mobile which we are celebrating here today, and applications like the BEAM, the UPI, India is already pioneering the creation of a new digital ecosystem in the world. India, therefore, is not merely following best practice, but actually beginning to set the next practice. The India Mobile Congress 2017, India's first and largest ever global mobile internet and technology event, will surely act as a platform to showcase our champion sectors in telecom and IT, our global leadership in innovation, in design, in manufacturing, and in creating next-generation platforms, products, and services. The very business model for delivery of communication services that is today widely prevalent across the world has largely been pioneered and honed in India. We are therefore proud today to offer New Delhi and India as a venue for collaboration and co-creation in this space. While we have the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona in the East, and the Mobile World Congress Shanghai, the India Mobile Congress shall be India's marquee event to showcase India's deep capabilities and diverse strengths in the sectors of telecom, IT, and internet to the world. The Government of India is committed to ensuring that this event and platform emerges as one of the foremost of its kind in the world, and we will spare no efforts in this direction. the telecom and IT sectors have already made global history with their growth and are today underpinning India's flagship programs, whether they are Make in India, Skill India, Smart Cities, or Digital India. We believe that the success of these programs and the role that the telecom and IT sectors have played in them would drive greater investment and innovation in the years to come. This event, I may mention here, is truly multi-stakeholder and features a leadership summit, a conclave, exhibitions, and awards. This 3-day event will have over 21 sessions with themes addressing digital India, internet governance, smart networks, digital identity, women in technology, emerging technologies in a 5G future, cloud and virtualization, Make in India, and many others. I am glad to note that we have 300 exhibitors, 60 startups, 2,000 delegates, and 8 country delegations for this event. I am also happy to mention that the theme that has been chosen for the event, Connecting the Unconnected, is a theme that has deep resonance for this government. I would like to highlight here, on behalf of the entire telecom sector, both private and public, our singular commitment and efforts to ensure that every part of India and every Indian is enabled to join and partake of the digital revolution and its benefits. By connecting every Indian with broadband and the next generation networks of the future. I would like to mention here that in BharatNet, under the leadership of the honorable ministers here, we have witnessed a 7-fold acceleration in the pace of implementation of this project. And we fully expect to connect 1 lakh Gram Panchayats by the end of this year. We also plan to roll out 1 million Wi-Fi hotspots by 2019. And with the combined efforts of the government and the telecom giants here, we do expect that 700 million Indians will be having access to the internet by 2022. Therefore, let me utilize this platform to specifically acknowledge and thank the efforts of our champions from industry who have taken India to a leadership position in both access and coverage. With extraordinarily affordable data and voice tariffs, handsets and devices, and attractive and cutting-edge products and services. Their offerings have truly touched and transformed the life of 1.2 billion Indians. I believe this IMC 2019 represents 3 specific opportunities for India. The first, to see how India can position itself as a global leader in the exciting, emerging world of new technologies and 5G, of IoT, big data, AI, robotics, augmented reality, and all the associated new technologies that come along with it. Second, we believe that we have an unprecedented opportunity for Make in India and Design in India, so that we can not only create the jobs and livelihoods that our people need, but also exploit the capabilities and talent that we have in manufacturing, software, design, etc. And lastly, we believe that we have an opportunity to grow together rather than alone. as the world moves into an era of convergence and sharing. That is where we believe that this IMC, whose key objective is to bring together all diverse stakeholders to create value together, is of huge relevance and importance. We believe that this conference will indeed catalyze and enable constructive discussions with stakeholders and accelerates the creation of jobs and livelihoods for Indians, as well as unleash innovation and creativity, paving the way for the growth of a robust digital ecosystem in the country. I wish you all a very good conference, a great exhibition, and congratulate COAI and Mr. Rajan Matthews on organizing this excellent event. Once again, a warm welcome to all of you.
Thank you, Mrs. Sundararajan, for that kind words. I must say that without the encouragement of our Honorable Minister, Mr. Sinha, and the DOT, sir, and from you, Madam, in making this a reality, this has become a reality with the input and the guidance that we have received. You are a parent organization in that sense, and you've really helped put this on the map. So thank you very much to our Honorable Minister, as well as to our Honorable Secretary. With that, if there's any question that India is now on the global map, that will be disabused by Mr. Rajan Anandan, who is the Vice President, Southeast Asia and India of Google. One of our largest global companies. Mr. Anandan will give us the principal partner felicitation. As you will notice, he is one of our main sponsors, and again shows the global investments that are being made in India. So, Mr. Anandan, please.
Honorable Ministers, distinguished leaders on the panel, captains of industry and leaders of the world's most dynamic internet ecosystem. Good morning, everyone. And I wanted to start by congratulating IMC for launching in India first. I think on the previous panel we heard that maybe our ambition should be to become the third largest in the world, but I think I'm sure our two ministers would agree that we should definitely have the largest mobile congress in the world, hopefully a few years from now. As all of you know, India is at a very, very interesting point. Over the last several years, we've seen the emergence of, without question today, the most dynamic, the most interesting, the most competitive internet ecosystem in the world. India today has over 400 million internet users, 300 million of them access the internet on their smartphones, and very interestingly, 200 million Indians access the internet every single day on their smartphones. And today, India is adding more connected smartphone users every single month than any other country in the world. What is also interesting is what's happened over the last year. As all of you know, thanks to several of the leaders on this distinguished dais, we've got the world's most affordable data plans. The most affordable broadband, mobile broadband in the world actually is in India today. And as Indians have got access to this level of connectivity, we've started seeing them do things we've never seen before. 48% of all airline tickets bought in India today are actually bought online. And by the year 2020, over 100 million Indians will buy airline tickets online. 70 million Indians shop online today. Binny Bansal was actually on the dais just a while ago, and we've created several billion-dollar e-commerce companies. And in fact, by the year 2025, the leading company in e-commerce in India is likely to be worth north of $50 billion, which would make it today one of the most valuable companies in the world. Close to 50 million Indians access education content online. In fact, the largest company when it comes to teaching English in India today is a startup from Jaipur that only has 25 people in it. And 44 million Indians look for jobs online every single month. This is just a slice of an incredibly healthy and growing digital ecosystem with huge potential to scale. And by the year 2020, India will have north of 600 million connected users, and we actually believe that over 500 million Indians will access the internet every single day by the year 2020. The underlying theme here is that India's internet landscape is incredibly dynamic. and also very competitive. And companies that build products that cater to the needs of India, the billion Indians, will see unprecedented growth and scale very, very quickly. This approach has been central to everything that Google as a company has been doing in India. Our mission in India is simple, is internet for every Indian. And we've leveraged this approach to systematically address all the major barriers that prevent Indians from getting on the internet. We started with access. We launched a very successful public-private partnership with Indian Railways and RailTel. Today we are in over 150 railway stations where we provide very high-speed public free Wi-Fi. And already 6.5 million Indians access this network every single month. And this initiative, we believe, has catalyzed the renewed interest in public Wi-Fi network systems, and I'm sure we'll hear more about that very, very soon. We're also very excited about all the different initiatives under Digital India, under Startup India, and under Skilling in India. And we strongly believe that the $1 trillion ambition that the government has set for Digital India is not only going to be achieved, but we're hoping, honorable ministers, we will actually get to that number much sooner than over the next 7 or 8 years. A recent study by ICICI estimates that a 10% increase in India's total internet traffic delivers on average a 3.3% increase in India's GDP. And by 2020, the internet economy in India will contribute over $500 billion of incremental GDP to India. And clearly, with all this growth, we're going to see the emergence of very large industries. The e-commerce industry, which was only about $15 billion last year, will get to $60 billion by the year 2020 and over $200 billion by the year 2025. Digital payments, which was virtually non-existent 2 years ago, will actually get to over $500 billion over the next several years. In fact, I don't know how many of you have thought of this. India today is the only country where a bank account can be opened in 2 or 3 minutes. And India is the only country where our leading private sector and public sector lenders are able to give a personal loan in a remote part of India in a matter of seconds. And that entire journey has been enabled by the incredible underlying infrastructure that has been built, not just the mobile connectivity that we've delivered to hundreds of millions of Indians, but really Aadhaar, UPI, and the entire India stack. And as Google, we believe that the biggest companies in the world get built by addressing the biggest problems of large numbers of people. And in India, in a country of 1.3 billion, we have innumerable sets of challenges and opportunities that can be addressed by connected users and this incredible underlying infrastructure that has been built. As Google, we are very committed to working with the entire ecosystem to solve these many, many problems. And we do believe that using technology, using this large connected user base, and the incredible focus that the government of India has had, these problems will get solved. I want to wrap by letting all of you know that I think India is at a very, very interesting point. We believe that the most interesting companies that India is going to invent over the next 10 to 15 years have not been invented yet. We believe that they will all be Indian companies. And what's most interesting to us is, as one of the top recruiters at India's leading engineering colleges, it used to be even 2 or 3 years ago, we were able to attract the top 1% of candidates in India. And honorable ministers, you would be glad to know that today we are not able to. The top 1% of India today, they don't want to work for any company. They want to invent for India, they want to build for India, and they want to solve for India. Thank you very much, and wish you all the very best with the conference.
Thank you, Aruna. You can see why companies like Google are flocking to our shores here in India, and again, the vision that is being laid out is just tremendous. And so with that, I am going to invite Mukesh and Bharti to take the podium. But before I do, I just want to recognize the fact that
You always supersize things. There's not an industry that you enter which does not benefit from size and scope and scale and the magnitude of the investments that you have made. And telecom, sir, has been no different. And so please share with us what you see for this industry and for this country going ahead, sir. Thank you.
most respected Shri Manoj Sinha ji, Shri Ravi Shankar Prasad ji, Shri Dharmendra Pradhan ji, Srimati Aruna Sundaran ji, my good friend from the industry, Sunil Mittal, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm good morning to each and every one of you. Today is a proud day for all of us to be at the first Indian Mobile Congress. My compliments to the Government of India, Shri Manoj Sinha ji, Shri Ravi Shankar Prasad ji, and the COAI and their entire team for conceptualizing and organizing this event. An event, I believe, that signals that India is one of the biggest telecom and digital markets in the world. The Indian Mobile Congress will soon become a must-attend global event. India has leapfrogged from a lowly 155th in mobile broadband penetration to being the world's largest mobile data consuming nation, #1 in the world in just the last 1 year. The pace at which the Indian mobile industry has grown is unparalleled in the world. Friends, I believe that in the next 10 years, the Indian economy will grow from the present $2.5 trillion to over $7 trillion a year and rank among the top 3 economies in the world. And to make this happen, the Indian telecom and IT industry has to play a foundational role in creating the digital infrastructure. As a nation, we missed out on the first 3 industrial revolutions, namely mechanization, mass production, and automation. The 4th industrial revolution, which is fueled by connectivity, data, and artificial intelligence, has begun. India now has the opportunity to lead the 4th industrial revolution, which is set to usher in more dramatic transformations globally than the 3 previous revolutions in the next 20 years. The mobile internet and cloud computing are the foundational technologies of the 4th industrial revolution. Data is the new oil. India does not need to import it. We have it in superabundance. It will be a new source of value and will create opportunities and prosperity for India and millions of Indians. Dear friends, as an industry, we have the urgent task of empowering 1.3 billion Indians with the tools needed to flourish in the digital marketplace. Data is the oxygen of a digital economy. We cannot deprive Indians of this vital, life-sustaining resource. We have to provide ubiquitous access to high-speed data at affordable prices. At the same time, we have to ensure that every Indian has access to an affordable smartphone that connects him to the limitless knowledge and the power of the internet. Young Indians, who account for 63% of our nation's population, have the competence to build a new digital business, exactly as Rajan said. They are bustling with ideas and entrepreneurial energy. If we give them the right tools and create the right ecosystem, they will transform India into a nation of 1 million startups and one of the foremost economies in the world, which brings prosperity to all its 1.3 billion people. The Indian mobile market is now overflowing with data. All of us have worked to create a robust digital circulatory system to carry data to each one of our 1.3 billion Indians, including those living in the remotest village. I believe that 4G coverage in India will become larger than 2G coverage within the next 12 months. There is an urgent need to apply the revolutionary powers of digital technologies to India's pressing needs and challenges. Today, I want to submit 3 must-do tasks for the consideration of both government and our industry to fulfill our Prime Minister's Digital India vision and his New India vision. First, we must explore and implement innovative ideas to generate employment, self-employment, and income generation opportunities for millions of Indian youth. We must foster confidence in the society that new technologies such as artificial intelligence, robotics, Internet of Things, cloud computing, big data analytics, 3D printing, blockchain, nanotechnology are all enablers of a new wealth of employment and wealth for all. I believe that we must specially tap the potential of these new technologies to transform and create jobs in the rural and agricultural sectors. Second, digital technologies can be a boon for achieving our national priorities for energy security, water security, and resource security. New sources of energy and new models of transportation with unparalleled efficiencies have become possible thanks to the convergence of several technologies. India must embark on the task of connecting everything and everyone via the super internet of things. This will enable 130 crore Indians to collaborate directly with one another and democratizing economic life like never before. Third, our nation's human capital is our greatest asset. Therefore, digitization of education, skill training, and human resource development in a comprehensive manner must be regarded as a precondition for the success of Digital India. To accomplish all these tasks, the telecom and the IT industry will have to partner with every sector of the economy and government, every business and every institution, from the biggest to the smallest. Dear friends, to realize our beloved Prime Minister's Digital India dream to the fullest, we have to start by becoming the change that we seek to create. We have to invest in building next-generation technology assets. We have to root out inefficiencies across the digital ecosystem, and we must break silos and forge partnerships. No single corporate, nor the government, can do it alone. Together, we can achieve the unimaginable. Let's not forget, India provides a big enough opportunity for all of us to grow and prosper together. The opportunity to pave the path for our nation's progress and create a better quality of life for every Indian beckons us. To turn this opportunity into reality should be the clarion call of this first Indian Mobile Congress. Today, we are an unstoppable nation. May God bless our nation as we journey to an exciting and glorious future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ambani, sir. As always, vision casting has always been your strengths in terms of giving us a vision of optimism and progress for the country, and you've not disappointed in laying out what that future holds for us. Oil and data is the new oil. You don't need to believe in importing anything anymore. So that's a clarion call to us in terms of the resources, our youth as a skill base, and partnerships as the way forward in terms of developing this nation, sir. Thank you very much for giving us that target to which we need to strive as part of IMC as well. So thank you very much, sir. With that, we would like to go over to a video clip from Mr. Vittorio Colao, who is the chairman of Vodafone Group and the Chief Executive Officer of the Vodafone Group PLC. He could not join us because of his commitments, but we have a video clip that he has asked to be shared with the honorable folks on the dais as well as the participants. So with that, I'd request the message from Mr. Colao to be played. Thank you.
Senior officials of the government, assembled dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen. It's my privilege to share my thoughts today at the first Indian Mobile Congress. Unfortunately, I cannot be with you today, but I look forward to attending future editions. And I thank DOT and COAI for giving me this opportunity. So, the role of telecom in the last 2 decades has been crucial in transforming the lives of individuals, society, and nations. And Vodafone is playing a significant role in this transformation globally. But in India, specifically, we had a very long-term commitment to the government's Digital India project. The PM Modi has rightly focused on digitization, on smart governance, on startups, on ease of doing business, and these are the right elements to take India forward. Now, Vodafone is in India the largest FDI investor with over 1,340 billion rupees invested already. We offer, as you probably all know, high-quality connectivity across India to over 210 million customers, and I'm very proud that 50% of those are in rural areas. India's biggest strength, we all know, is having a very young and talented workforce. Vodafone employs and has trained more than 10,000 young Indians. They manage our global networks on behalf of the other operations of Vodafone, and therefore they support also the Make in India for the World vision of President Modi. Let's talk a bit about consumers. Indian consumers have a very strong appetite for data services, but still over 500 million people have not connected to the internet, and these are great opportunities for all. To realize India's full potential as a superpower, it's essential that the telecom sector, which is a core driver of economic development, is in good health. Telecom will be a key enabler of a future-fit India, and we have always to remember that telecoms enable other sectors, including healthcare, including education, and catalyzes innovation. So, our mission as Vodafone, we write it everywhere, is to connect, to live a better today and build a better tomorrow. Our focus is essentially of new offers for consumers and digital is becoming a way of life, and it's now becoming imperative to give seamless, high-speed connectivity at home, at work, at play, anywhere, I would say, in the country. And this requires the integration of multiple technology into a single mesh network which can offer the best uninterrupted services, what we call at Vodafone unified communication. We offer unified communication in most parts of the world. We want to offer it also in India. This is strategic, I think, for Vodafone, but it's also strategic for India as a country. And our proposed merger with Idea is the next exciting chapter for Vodafone. We will create a strong champion for Digital India, which will be, I am sure, a great support for the government's vision and for the Indian citizens' ambition. I'm sure you will have good discussions today at the Congress, and this will lead to a very positive outcome that will enhance the health and the stature of the industry, which is very important to unlocking the potential that I just described. I thank you for this opportunity to speak. I wish all of you the very best for a very successful Congress.
Thank you for that message from Mr. Colao, Chief Executive of Vodafone Group. With that, we have the distinct pleasure of inviting Mr. Sunil Mittal. We've known Mr. Mittal for a long time, sir. We know that you never run away from a challenge, that we know. From the earliest times when this industry was open to investments and foreign companies were running away by the dozen. You kept your nerve, sir. You invested, you made Bharti the largest telecom company. And sir, for that we thank you. And please share with us your ideas and visions, sir.
A very good morning to all of you, honorable ministers, senior secretaries, Government of India, distinguished guests, my colleagues, my dear friend Mukesh Ambani, and all of you who have taken the time out here this morning. My very warm welcome. I am exceptionally delighted today on many accounts, but let me say that finally we are having our own Telecom Congress. This was long in the making, this was long overdue, and I'm delighted that COI, along with the support from Ministry of Communications and METI, and with the active participation from the Secretary Telecommunications, we have been able to put this show together in a short time frame, but in a spectacularly impactful way. This year has been a year of several Mobile World Congresses, and I'm pleased that I, as India's representative on the global stage, have had the privilege to chair all the 3 Mobile World Congresses. The Barcelona, which is currently the biggest of all, in February, followed by Mobile World Congress in Shanghai, and 2 weeks back, on the 12th of this month, the Mobile World Congress in San Francisco, which I had the privilege to chair as well. I was the founder chairman of COI way back in 1994, and I'm therefore very pleased that under the aegis of COI, which was founded in 1994, with some fledgling small startups like us, have today been able to put together this wonderful show together. Ladies and gentlemen, for DOT, for the METI, for all the senior government officials who have supported this, and in particular COI and Rajan, let's give him a big hand. And as was pointed out by Secretary earlier and Mukesh, I think India's time has clearly come to make this as now perhaps the world showcase for what's happening in the area of digital technologies. And I have no doubt this first edition that has started today will grow in size and stature to ensure that GSMA, which does these 3 big conferences, gets associated with this. And I, in my own position as the chairman of GSMA, I will ensure that the GSMA combines its forces with the India Mobile Congress to make this the world showpiece for everyone to come and enjoy, see what this country is doing. We are on the cusp of some very exciting developments in this industry. I would have never imagined just even 5, 7, 8 years back that the shift in technology, the pace in technology will be such that we will be now conjuring images of a very new world that we are all going to live in. The early trailers that are being seen around AI, backed by cloud computing, AR, VR, putting at our doorstep products like robotic surgeries, AI-backed bots in the banks, in the law firms, autonomous cars, managing very complicated nuclear power stations to manufacturing machines, and all are being led by this new innovative wave of digital technology. Some of those were talked by Anandan from Google. You are seeing, when you're going around the globe, fantastic things happening. I think one very important part I'd like to share with you is, wherever in the world I'm going, the attention towards India is very large. I was in the Google campus just 2 weeks back, where Sundar Pichai hosted the GSMA board. We looked at what all Google is doing, but what was delightful for us to see that in each one of their products and services that were being developed, India was at its core. The new Android Go smartphone, which will be a low-cost smartphone, fueled and propelled by Google, is targeting India. The YouTube Lite is looking at India. Almost every product that is coming out of these large stables of technology innovation hubs are looking at India as one of their inspirations to make those products efficient and tailor-made for countries like India. This is a big departure when technologies were being made just for the Western world. I also had the occasion to spend some time with Mark Zuckerberg, who is on his parental leave, but I met him at his home. In the 1-hour conversation that we had, India was clearly on his mind, and he spoke a lot about how Facebook growth in India is fueling the company's future going forward. So each one of these large telecom technology honchos are looking at India. And frankly, India with 1.3 billion people and now increasingly going towards a market of 3+1 telecom players offers a great opportunity. Yes, we all are aware of the challenges that this industry faces, but I would say there are not too many markets in the world where you have 1.3 billion potential people to use and consume digital media. You have a prime minister and a government which is committed to using digital platforms to serve the societies. This combination gives me hope that India will emerge as one of the leading telecom markets anywhere in the globe. Clearly, as Mukesh pointed out, none of us can do it alone. We all have to come together while we compete head-on for the benefit of customers. We have to collaborate amongst ourselves, create ecosystems, use common towers, hopefully common fiber. Submarine cables are all in consortiums today, and some moonshots in the form of satellite projects are also being experimented to ensure that countries like India get the best benefits out of the same. But again, the industry alone will not be able to do it, as he rightly pointed out. We will need to combine our forces with the government. Government policies will have to eventually decide how fast this digital wave in this country can propel the citizens and the benefits being passed on to the society forward. I have no doubt that the Government of India is acutely aware that the hard infrastructure is going to take a lot of time to be built. While a lot of investment is going into roads, ports, airports, electrification, it is going to take some time. Physical infrastructure has its limitations. It has time lag. It takes time to execute those projects. While I'm glad that those are being done in the right earnest, a lot of money is being sanctioned, a lot of projects are moving forward, and a lot of issues around ease of doing businesses are being dealt with, it is the digital platform that the government has rightly picked up as one of the cornerstone of transforming India, which will, to my mind, deliver. And we in the telecom industry, under the aegis of COI, collaborating with DOT, MeitY, and other ministries, will ensure that we move forward in a fast way. I have the benefit of very senior ministers of the government here, and I would like to urge them to help us in finding ways and means to get easy right-of-way. While we get a lot of support from the central government, at the state government, we are still inhibited of putting in fiber into the streets and the roads. Right-of-way is difficult to get. It's expensive. You have rightly opened up government buildings to putting up towers. Yet on the ground, the permissions don't come easily. We will need your support to ensure that while we are rolling out these large networks, we do get red carpet treatment. And like you, sir, the state governments, the municipalities, local governments must understand the power of digital India, and they must come out all in support of what we are trying to do. There's generally an acquisition on the Indian industry for the last 2 or 3 years that we don't invest enough. And partially, I would concede you're right. But this industry in particular is doing a human service in investments. This industry is an exception to the rule. Indian companies are investing with their ground on the feet. They are putting in large amounts of money. My own company, Airtel, would have put in up to September over 10,000 crores in hard infrastructure. This year, the plan is to put up 18 to 20,000 crores of investment. Mukesh is putting up a lot of investments, and I'm sure the other telecom companies are doing the same. So overall, 50, 60,000 crores just in 1 year is going into building hard digital infrastructure. BSNL is doing its own lot, and there are many other smaller operators who are also trying to contribute towards this investment. Government policies which can enable these investments to be put onto the ground faster will greatly enable us to reach the vision that you have and our Prime Minister has in a faster and more impressive manner. I'm pleased that Bharti, which started its journey way back in 1983 actually, by launching India's first push-button phone, India's first cordless phone, India's first telephone answering machine, and fax machine, and of course, first mobile phone, will continue to be a major player in the space of telecommunications in providing heft and leverage to the digital economy, digital society. All our young startup companies, all our young people will ensure that they enjoy the benefits of telecom technology. And we will stay ahead on the curve. As you will leave this hall and go into the exhibition, you will see India's first massive MIMO, which has been deployed, which is now being deployed by Airtel around the country. And you will see the speeds and power of Massive MIMO in the exhibition that Airtel has put out into their stalls here.